Here come the karts on the rolling lap, ready for the start of the pre-final here at A1-Speedworld in Austria. It's the final round of the Central and Eastern European Rotax Max Challenge. And on pole in the red kart is number 240, Balats Verket, the current championship leader. Alongside in the yellow machine, number 262, Gerhard Fentz. This is the Austrian's first time in the challenge this year, so he's out for race glory rather than championship points. Watch for Adam Tutzon in kart 204, second in the championship, but he's way back on the sixth row of the grid. Here we go, they accelerate over the line, 1 and 2 with their hands in the air, and there's one kart spinning on the straight before they even get to turn 1. The officials put out the green flag with the yellow chevron to confirm that it was a full start anyway, and as we look back at a replay, keep your eye left of shot. The orange and black 212 kart of Zsolt Gorzo gets hit from behind and sent into a spin. The instigator, none other than championship hopeful Adam Tutzon. Meanwhile, the pack comes around for a second attempt at the rolling start, but again, they're not properly bunched up, so it's another full start. They keep on coming back for more, but yet again, look how spread out the pack is. The front row men are responsible for the pace, and they're just far too quick. The drivers at the back are still coming around the final corner as they blast over the line. Right, fourth time lucky, looks a bit better. Yes, we're away. Here's hoping there's enough fuel left in the karts to get them to the end of the race. It's absolutely neck and neck meanwhile for the lead, and look, somebody off, 2 karts off. 291, which is Miroslav Pekka, and 299, Fodor Getza. A replay. And it was Pekka running into the back of Getza, which then sends Getza into a spin, and both of them onto the grass. Back to the action, and the pole sitter Balats Verket has held onto the race lead from Gerhard Fentz. Right with them in third is the 211 kart of Laszlo Ellenes, the driver currently fourth in the championship. They're through the very fast back section of the course and slowing right down now for this tight right-hander, where Gerhard Fentz closes onto the race leader and has a go on the way into the chicane. Not quite, good effort, but he's forced to back out of the move, mindful of the fact that this is the first lap of the race and only a qualification race for the main event to come. I think that was a sensible decision from Fentz. They hurtle over the line and onto the start of lap 2. Championship leader Balats Verket heads the pack. Gerhard Fentz is second, then it's Laszlo Ellenes third. Already these three have edged clear of the chasing pack, which is still led by the 275 kart of Peter Goyatai in fourth place. 208 Balats Botska, though, has now moved to fifth. A little further back, this is the battle for 8th place, where Attila Virag has just been passed by Zsolt Gorzo. And remember, Zsolt Gorzo, aboard karts 212, is the driver who got pushed into a spin crossing the line on the first full start. Back to the leaders, and they are still running nose to tail. This is where Gerhard Fentz was quicker on lap 1. And here he comes again, a carbon copy almost of his attempt on the previous lap. Same result too, he can't quite find a way past. And the pressure from Fentz is relentless. He showed his nose again there, but Fodor Getza, the reigning Hungarian Rotax Max Masters champion, stays ahead. You have to say, though, that Gerhard Fentz is the quicker of the two at the moment. As an Austrian driver, I'm sure he knows the track, plus there's really no pressure on him at all. Having not taken part in the first 2 rounds, he's not a title contender, so he's not constrained by having to think too much about points, whereas the race leader, Balats Verket, well, his entire day, his entire season rests on making sure he scores enough points across these next 2 races to try and wrap up the championship. It's pretty gutsy driving actually from Balats. He doesn't really need to win the race. He's already well ahead of his main championship rival, yet he is defending with a serious amount of determination, when it would be much easier to let Fentz through and to take the points for second. The driver shadowing them in third place is not to be discounted either. Laszlo Ellenes has already proven his abilities in the Hungarian National Karting Championships, finishing third overall in this year's title race, and he was on the podium in the last round of the Central and Eastern European Championship, finishing third on a very, very wet track at the Pannonia Ring in Hungary. This is the part of the circuit where the leader has been coming under most pressure, but he's responding. Looks a little quicker through there this time, but he's a bit slower through the chicane, and the gap is brought back down again by Fentz, who now goes on the attack and at last is through. Patience pays off, and Gerhard Fentz is our new race leader. On to the start of lap 11, and this is the fight for fourth place. 275 Peter Goyatai ahead, but Balats Botska is really quick through turn 1, and he catapults past, having been able to hold the tighter inside line. Collision, they're both off. That's Goyatai and Botska, who are battling over fourth place. Well, we only caught the back end of that, so we didn't see exactly what caused it. I'm sure each driver will have a differing opinion as to who was to blame. In any case, it's 205 Gabor Leitz up to fourth place now, with 271 Attila Virag up to fifth. Scrap that, they're the other way around now. After that move puts Virag now ahead of Leitz. Behind them in sixth is 212 Zsolt Gabor, and he now goes off on the offensive. Wow, what a move! No messing around from Gabor. He just slices down the inside of his 2 rivals and goes from 6th straight up to 4th. Top 6 finish wouldn't be a bad result for someone who was forced off the road right at the very beginning of the race. Luckily for Gultso, the ensuing string of false starts meant that he got the chance to get back into his original grid position, and having been given a second chance, he's made the most of it. He's not out of the woods yet though, because he's under attack now from 271 Attila Virag. Virag attacks, launches one up the inside, but has to slam on the brakes to make the corner. That scrubbed off all his speed, and Zolt simply glided back past on the exit. Meanwhile, the leaders have already begun the 18th and final lap of this pre-final. Not seen them for a while, but it's still Gerhard Fentz in the lead from Balázs Paquet and Laszlo Ellenes. Then we've got Zolt Gultso 4th in this juicy battle for 5th place between Attila Virag and Gabor Lietz. With the 226 car of Russia's Maxim Shaposhnikov absolutely flying after them in 7th place, and here he comes, the Russian through at the first time of asking. He slots in between them to go 6th. And had there been another lap in the race, he might well be finishing 5th, but the flag is out, and that's how they're going to finish. Paquet Balázs, meanwhile, wins and will be on pole for the final.